welcome back to the Animation Weekly Recap. If you wondered why we looked active in our thumbnail, it's because we just were.
We were active.
We just went on a walk. And I wish we could show Hattie because she went too, but she is
slammed on the ground.
No, you can't see her.
Oh, there's a little piece of her.
She is out like a light.
This is her legs.
But we're just like super fit, so it didn't even faze us. And we were like, let's just go shoot the Animation Weekly Recap.
That's that makeup glow. That's what you got going there. That's not sweat.
It actually is my makeup glow. Thank you very much.
Is it?
Mixed with a bit of sweat.
It is a little added layer of sweat for sure.
Yeah, it's got some beads.
Yeah.
Anyways, how are y'all doing? It's beautiful and sunny. Don't forget to get outside. I know most of you guys as artists probably work from home, but it's crazy how much better you can feel just after a quick walk.
And you're not all artists, but there's a lot of you that work from home. I bet that.
Yes,
Still
this
true.
is true. I'm not an artist, and I work from home.
And we all know we got to get out. I'm getting back into it.
You've got this.
I know.
I believe in you.
Yeah, thank you. Real quick, if you've never watched this before, you probably already have tuned out because we didn't get to this. But hi, I'm Tom Bancroft. I'm CEO of Pencilish Animation Studios and a 35-year veteran of animation. And this is Ansley, my daughter, but also our head of publicity. Dang it, I messed that up.
Publicity.
Marketing.
If I was, I'd be failing.
Yeah, that's right.
Marketing and communications.
We're doing pretty good on publicity.
Oh, big sigh.
Marketing.
She moved location.
I know. It's like, anyway, and she is newer to the animation industry, but learning along with you. And that's kind of part of why we do this. We want to have two different views of the news of the day in animation.
True that. Yeah, it's super fun. I feel like I bring most of the views in by being outgoing, personable, interesting, exciting, and all over just like charismatic to watch.
And hopefully I bring a little knowledge and a shade of good looks that you have. Just a shade of it.
I wasn't even talking about looks, but
well, I think you're bringing it. So
was my glow sunscreen?
Yeah, other days stronger, but there's an element of it for sure.
Other days are stronger? So the days I wear makeup, are you telling me I need to wear makeup?
I'm just saying, sometimes you're
my father. You're supposed to tell me I look pretty without makeup.
You do look pretty without makeup. I just said you look pretty. Remember that at the beginning? I didn't use those words, but you remember?
No,
that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
I was complimenting me and saying I was just a shade of you, and that was a compliment to you.
And then you said, but some days I look better.
Well, yeah.
No, finish your sentence, please.
No, you're doing awesome. What's the news of the week? What's going on?
All right, let's get into it. We have a pretty interesting week. I thought it'd be boring, but it's not terrible. Let's see.
You think every week's gonna be boring?
It's animation.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Article 1. Yet again. Montreal's Laughing Dragon studio is shutting down, blames Quebec government for gutting animation industry. I feel like just as much as I started hearing about animation moving to Canada, I heard about animation leaving Canada. It was kind of in and out quick.
Are you saying within the last couple of years, or are you saying...
Yeah, I feel like it was becoming like, this is the hub. Like Netflix was moving there, like all this stuff.
You know, it still is. And Disney is definitely moving there. That's the dirty little secret that most people don't know, is that because of Moana 2, they're really ramping up that Canadian Disney studio.
Well, it says that they used to have about 100 employees, and the co-founder posted about closure was a decision that was forced on us due to many circumstances outside of our control. Chief among them, the Legault government's decision to cut our industry off at the knees.
I think that, and that's probably not how you say it, but the Legault person, that's a person, I think, like a prime minister or somebody? I don't know. Let's just assume.
Well, then he said, while we built this sector up over the last 20 years, the government gutted it in less than 2.
Wow. Well, what did they say? That's the part I don't understand. What changed? It looks like they revised their tax credit system.
Yeah, so the industry struggles, as Summer pointed out, are largely a self-inflicted wound. Last year, Quebec's government revised its tax credit system and said that it was redirecting its investments into in animation,
Visual
and
effects.
visual effects into live action.
Yeah, it said VFX. Into live action film. Wow.
Yeah, so no, animation is leaving.
Wow.
She gone just as quick as she came.
But that's
They were in
just
business
Quebec,
about-
I think. That's the part I don't know either, because none of us United States people know anything about Canada. We don't know how far apart
They're in
things are.
Montreal.
It says Quebec's government revised their tax credit. Is Montreal in Quebec? Maybe that's what it is. And once again, we know nothing about
I feel like
Canada.
we shouldn't be like talking about this because we don't really have room to talk.
Let's just back this up and say, I think that our United States public school system should teach us more
It
about
failed
Canada.
us. It should teach us more about anything.
We don't know anything about Canada. Like you'll hear about European, like they'll do, I had a class that was like European history. And you can have that kind of a class in high school and learn about Europe and how we came over here and Christopher Columbus and things like that.
There wasn't like it was just history, but sure, you had like sectors.
No, mine
about
had
it.
some
More
specific.
college that you get specific.
No, in my high school, I'm telling you, I'm old. It was different back then. There were different
now.
kind of history classes you could take.
The only time I ever
One
heard
I took one California history. Literally, that was the class.
that's bizarre. I've
But
never heard of that before in my
Just
life.
to our Canadian friends, I apologize. We were not taught right, and honestly,
The only time I ever heard about Canada is when I took French and brief.
oh really?
I heard about the skiing in Quebec, and we'd be like, "La ski et Quebec."
All the important stuff, huh?
That's all I heard. Like you
Wow.
would just be practicing. Like, yeah, no, I know nothing about it. I know nothing about a lot of things though. So, I don't feel. I actually saw
You
something
think that's
recently.
all the educational system, or other
I
factors?
believe so. Yes.
Okay.
I believe that if I put my mind to something, I can know a lot about one thing, but I don't know a lot about what I was taught. I'm good at math. Not
Yeah,
this.
you were always good at math, which
Not
is
this.
crazy. All my girls were pretty good at math, which I'm
Lexi
horrible at
wasn't.
it.
Lexi wasn't.
Oh, good. She takes after me.
Anyways, but I just saw something recently because it was showing a map of Europe and how it's almost like our states, like how close they are together. It's kind of crazy. It's like states, like the U.S.
Wait, of what? I missed the beginning.
It was showing a map of Europe.
Oh yeah,
And like they're like
Yeah.
lined up together like states almost. Like
Right.
and they're
They're all
so
kind of
close
small
together. It's
and
like
they're
a
all-
2-hour drive to Germany from
yeah. They touch.
a close country.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Well, it was like imagine living in like Tennessee and there's a war in Kentucky because that's like what it's like there.
Oh wow.
They've got wars like a
I
state
have
over.
never thought of it like
Isn't that crazy?
That would be really weird.
Isn't that so weird?
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
It's exactly what it's like.
Thank
for
you,
them now.
TikTok, for
Thank
that.
you.
Isn't it crazy? We
See,
never think
I
like
learned
this.
so much
Yeah.
more recently because of TikTok. More than I
know.
learned in school.
Yeah, not deep facts, but just a little light. I
mean,
do
that's
follow. We're on a tangent, so
Yeah, I feel like we're not talking
one more
about
tangent.
this.
I follow a guy on TikTok. Now this guy is really smart. He's older. He's probably a little younger than me, but he's older. And he talks about AI and all the innovations. Like literally every day he's coming on and talking about a new innovation, a new thing. And it's this Google over here, or it's different groups doing things. And he's doing it from a very scientific standpoint. He's not like, I hate AI. Obviously, he doesn't hate AI. He's kind of into it. Because he's like in the Silicon Valley. He's definitely a tech guy. But I just say there's some knowledge that I'm getting from TikTok that's a little deeper than light knowledge. Because he does a whole rant, and I'll listen to the whole
It's
thing.
where I go for everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, I get a lot of first off, recipes, obviously. I
Yeah.
learn so much on there. But it's also where I just go for basic things, or when I'm DIYing something or ideas, because people are so creative and
Yeah.
it's honestly a good hub.
Creativity thrives there.
Or I'll look up. I just recently looked up how to hang something on the wall that's heavy, and then it taught me about those little things you gotta put in before you put the nail in.
Yes.
And I watched a video and then I did it.
Anchors. Yeah, the wall anchors.
I was just
right?
like, who needs men? Not me.
It's kind of a point, yeah.
It's this TikTok dad that is in case you didn't have a dad that raised you to do this. And I was like, it's me.
That's me.
That's me. My dad taught me cartoons.
I thought you know
And he
manly
said-
things at all.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
like, then watch this video. Today we're learning, and he goes through things that you need to know.
And you guys taught me cheerleading.
Yeah,
I know
you're
that
supposed to be the
really
one
well.
teaching us.
Yeah, I didn't teach you guys a thing. This is making movies.
No.
Anyway, let's go back to this.
So
the other
they
point
were in-
that we didn't say at the very top is how long they'd been around.
I was just getting there.
Go ahead.
About 25 years, I think it was. And then
Yeah.
I think it was
It's,
last
20,
year.
23 years. Okay.
Last year, they worked on Central Park, Mario vs. Sonic, Disenchanted.
Oh.
And they make their own IP, but they're mostly hired. A hired studio.
Right. Work for hire.
Yeah. And they last summer laid off like 38 people, saying they've been like struggling. So they'd been cutting down, but I think in hopes that they didn't have to. And then they got another job, and in 2024 they hired 15 people, rehired.
Yeah.
But
that's only 15. Well, from what they used to have.
Well, it's like half of.
Oh, what they laid off. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I mean, there's nothing really you can say except for the government's killing us.
Yeah. Well, we don't have the tax incentives they do. They've been helped.
Yeah, they don't have them anymore, though.
For probably 50 years or so. I don't know how long these tax incentives have been around, but they have amazing tax incentives and have for years. And they've built an industry off of it, a thriving industry. And now it sounds like at least parts of their government. I don't know about Quebec and how that relates to the other parts of Canada, but
They each have a different government?
I don't know. That's the part that I should know.
I don't think
But
that's true.
I know. I think Quebec is their. It's sort of their
Is it?
Washington D.C. where their government is. But I know there's like French Quebec and then there's English
is,
Quebec, and I don't. It's Canada.
The Prime Minister is the head of government who is invited by the crown to form a government after
Well,
securing.
I don't know if we want to do.
Okay,
this
so
deep
there's
right
one.
now.
There's one government.
Okay, for all of Canada, let's just say that's true. Okay,
I like it.
all right.
It
Let's
feels right.
move on to number 2. We tangented too much on that one.
Article 2, but sorry about y'all, Canada.
Yeah,
And
this studio for sure.
and Laughing Dragon.
Laughing Dragon.
Rip. That sucks. All right, Article 2. The King of Kings.
Oh.
Crowned top faith-based animated opening with 19 million. I actually think it was more than that, though.
I saw
Eventually.
19 too, but maybe it has gone
I
up
think I heard
since,
something
for sure.
around 30.
Yeah, when was this posted? What
April 13th.
So
Monday.
this is Wednesday. Yeah. Okay.
So, Angel is projecting a 19 million weekend box office for its animated epic theatrical release, The King of the Kings, which is based off a Charles Dickens book, it was. Anyways, according to the numbers, the previous top animated faith-based film release were The Prince of Egypt, which opened at 14.5 million.
Amazing.
The Star at 9.8, and Jonah, VeggieTale movie, at 6.2. So it's done better than all of them.
I know. Amazing that it beat
Amazing.
Prince of Egypt. That's the other two. Let's admit it. I even worked on that last one, the VeggieTales movie,
Well,
but not obviously going to be a big budget thing or a big
Right.
big sales.
well, not just that, but it received on Rotten Tomatoes popcorn meter, so the crowd choice,
amazing.
97, an impressive A+ in cinema score. And it later says that the film is only one of 128 films to ever achieve an A+ on cinema score.
I heard that. That's big news.
I think it's so cool.
I know. I do too.
I think that's just the coolest thing ever. I actually just saw a TikTok of this girl.
Yeah.
And she was like talking
Somebody
about...
you follow already?
No, she popped up on my For You page. I actually sent it to you. I don't know if you watched it. You probably didn't.
I haven't seen it. I don't think.
Shocker.
Yeah.
No, it's this girl that... I'll talk to you about it later. But she made this TikTok, and it was about, like, how well this film was doing. And then it was talking about how Snow White is losing... They're saying that they're projected to lose over $150 million
I did
on
see
the
this,
film.
I think. I
Yeah,
think I
and
saw
she
it.
was like, so just like goes to show, like, we really do have a say on what's being made as like viewers, and just how cool it is. And not just that, but it's also showing that like we're really having a change and shift in the world and like what people want, and people are like, a lot of people are like taking back their faith. It's a huge revolution right now.
With
a lot
youth,
of younger
yeah.
people too.
A lot of college age students.
It's becoming, it's really becoming a thing to like, believe.
Yeah.
And so it just goes to show like Disney did it all wrong. So
I know. I was just listening to a podcast about that new Snow White, kind of a review and all that. Anyway, that's a tangent, but
I can talk about Snow White.
We could go on and on about that one. Happy to hear about this, obviously, because I also made. So here's the thing: that if you guys haven't seen King of Kings yet, I had seen it. I went to the premiere of it a couple weeks ago. It was right here in Franklin, Tennessee. Met the director. Here's the inside scoop. So they reported that they made it for about 22 to 25 million, I think it was.
Okay.
It's higher than that, is what they shared on the side.
I don't know if you should be saying this
Okay.
because I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Okay. No, it's not illegal.
It's illegal to not report things correctly.
No, they all do it. So anyway, it's just, that's how it goes.
That's illegal. So maybe don't mention it.
It's not insider trading. I don't think it's that.
No,
but,
you just have to report things legally, or the IRS could come for you for the rest of your money.
This doesn't have anything to do with that. Like, they're not. It's just what they want to tell the press. I'm sure they reported the correct amount to the tax people. Okay, so anyway, this
you
19.
Better hope, or they're screwed now.
What surprised me, one, is that it beat Prince of Egypt. Now, we can also go, well, Prince of Egypt was how many years ago, and is it that amount of money, and what would that be in today's dollars? They'd be a lot closer, we can say that. So we'll say...
Right.
But still a surprise, even if they were close, because that movie, is... considered a classic.
When it was done by DreamWorks. Like, this was a huge...
Well, like I said, this is around 25 million, we'll say. And then that one, Prince of Egypt, even back then, was whatever, we'll say, I don't know, 80 to 100 million.
Probably.
So crazy that it's doing so well. I must admit, I'm not giving you a formal review, but I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was amazing. Now, here's the other thing. Our trailer is on this film. It's actually embedded in the print, basically. So everywhere you saw King of Kings, you saw
the trailer
Light
for
of
Light
the
of the
World.
World. Really?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. What?
No, that you guys just had your trailer going.
Yeah, we just finished it just so we could have it on King of Kings.
That's a good idea.
I know.
That's what I was saying.
It was. I thought it was crazy at first because I'm like, well, wait, aren't we going to confuse the crowd? They're there to
It's a bit competitive.
see a Jesus movie.
Well, they do have a kid as the main storyline in it.
Yeah, but he's very young.
He's young.
It's really Charles Dickens is the main. I don't know if I can call him even the main character, but he kind of is he's the main character, and he's telling it to his grandchild or his grandson. No, it's his son. He just looks so old. But anyway, it's his son. That's my least favorite part. Is my mini review. Is the beginning is too long. They have a big long intro that doesn't have anything to do with the Bible story before they get into the Bible story. And actually, once we go into the Bible story, I was in. You know what I mean? That was the more interesting, and that's good news. That was the more interesting story to me. But then they would break out of it constantly.
To go to well, Papa, what about?
Right, and the stupid cat. There's a big.
Oh, I actually thought it was cute in that part that.
Some people love the cat.
I thought it was really cute where where he said something. I saw the trailer. He said, I don't know. The grandpa asked the kid a question. He was like, and then the cat goes, Yeah. I thought that was cute.
There's a couple spots where I get why people like the cat, but honestly, I felt like it was a big distraction and constant. Anyway, the back and forth between present day, Victorian present day or whatever, to Bible times, going back and forth, constantly cutting out of it. It was, I thought, too many times.
Too many. I think it's a cool idea. I just think maybe they just
Princess Bride did it. That's one of the best examples of it. Is grandfather telling his son or grandchild this story of Princess Bride, and every once in a while they cut out of it.
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of the Princess Bride?
No.
Oh, please put something in the comments to shame her. Thank you.
The Princess Bride?
The Princess Bride. It's a comedy classic. Okay.
Obviously not, or I would have heard of it.
You need to... Okay. The grandchild thing at the very beginning, just like in this movie, it's a little... You got to get past it. Just keep watching because it gets really good.
If you tell me it's hard to get into
no.
I'm not.
It's very short.
I'm never going to watch it.
Not like this movie. It's short in Princess Bride. They did it right in Princess Bride. Okay? Anyway, long story short, super happy that a lot of people are seeing this movie, but also selfishly because they're seeing our trailer.
Yeah,
for Light of the World.
win.
Yeah, and so
Looks like the theater count was about 3,200 people that all went and saw your trailer, unless they didn't go late. Like, I go in about 15 minutes late because I want to make sure I don't have to see trailers. But
how do you call yourself a movie person?
I don't.
You're not. I made you to be a movie person.
I love movies, but I'm not like walking around like I'm a movie person.
Oh, I'm
I'm
walking around saying I'm a movie person.
I'm walking around saying like I'm a red wine person, and I'm a dog person, and I'm a golf person. But I dabble in movies.
God, family, animation, film. That's it. Boom.
Is that the order?
That's the list. That's the order. Yeah. Not this wine, dogs, my family, my fiance, oh God, somewhere down here, Netflix. That's not the anyway. Let's move on.
Anyways,
great news.
Awesome.
Great news.
I feel like we're not talking about these stories
Does
at
it
all.
speculate though how far they think it's gonna go? That's what I would love to hear.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't get into that. I don't think they can really tell yet.
They usually can. I don't know. They don't usually, because that's where they can get embarrassed. Because this has got some steam. It could actually go further than most of them.
Yeah, and I don't think they want to hope for the best or like,
Right.
Anyways, congrats.
Congrats to that.
Very exciting.
I'm surprised. I didn't think it. I thought it, because I gave it a mediocre review. It's really well done. Very slick. It's I will say it's computer animation, and it's high-end animation.
What'd you think of the bobblehead look?
I do not like the bobblehead look. That's the hardest thing for me. And
I thought it was
because I'm a character designer. I could say I got used to it, but barely. Because then when Jesus was on the cross, his little arms, it looked bad at the end.
Oh, was his arms like this long and his head was like huge?
And his head's huge with this little tiny neck, and it just. And then I don't think they modeled his body very well. They didn't like define the musculature very much, because I think they were like, that might look weird because it gets sexy at a certain point, like ribs, or like abs and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I feel like if I could guess, Jesus was like more skinny though.
But he's got a pretty realistic face, is what I'm saying. So then having kind of a skinny, blobby shaped body, I'm getting into character design a little bit here, but that was like a no to me.
Well, and he's shirtless on the cross, right?
Yeah, he's just kind of like a diaper, kind of thing.
So I'm having a hard time picturing him on the cross in this world.
Yeah, I know. And that's what it looks like.
Let me see. Jesus on the cross.
King of Kings.
King of...
I don't know if that would be out there, but it's just an image. It was probably...
there is one. Can you put it up, Phil? Oh, is that it? That's really him in the movie?
Click on that.
Well, this is the official trailer. It looks like it's some sort of video.
Like an image from it.
Is that it?
Yeah. I think that is it. So you see what I'm saying? Is like...
He looks like really little boy. He looks like a little boy under his head.
Well, because like during the day when he's wearing his robes and stuff like that,
it's
they're
all baggy.
And they help kind of cover up what his body actually looks like.
He looks like a little boy in here.
And now he doesn't even have something like a collar or anything like that. So then now his neck looks even longer. And he's kind of got these short little arms, so he's not really stretched. Doesn't feel like he's hanging from his hands.
Or they should have had his shoulders like up more by his head, because that's what I'm sure it would have been. So
when you go see Light of the World, you'll see that we corrected that.
You'll see what it looks
went
like.
Totally the opposite direction. And
You'll see what it should have looked like. Yeah. All right.
But
Article
good for 3. You guys. Sorry.
Good for you guys.
Critiquey.
Okay. Article 3. This student crew used Toon Boom Harmony to create the 2D 3D hybrid short, The Legend of Bill.
Oh, thank you. This is in Cartoon Brew.
These
are my students that you're talking about. Here's a picture of The Legend of Bill. Image.
Very exciting. Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and read, because I think it goes into an interview, but I'll read like the top. So in Jacob Birmingham's, which Jacob Birmingham was he's like the best. There's nothing he can't do. He did a lot of graphics for Pencilish.
And actually worked for Ansley for a while there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was the best.
Yeah.
So in Jacob Birmingham's directorial debut, The Legend of Bill, a duck takes on a fox in a high-stakes desert race. The catch: Bill the duck doesn't have a truck suitable for racing through the desert. All he has is his Ford Bronco. My dream. Taking inspiration from animation legends like Gendy Tartakovsky
Oh, that was good.
and Chuck
Tartakovsky.
Jones, as well as live-action directors like James Mangold.
Wow.
The Legend of Bill balances wacky humor and life-or-death stakes of off-road racing. The short film, which integrates 2D characters with 3D vehicles, which I think is really cool,
Yeah,
is currently being developed by Birmingham into an animated series. Did you know that?
I did.
I didn't know that. That's so cool. Did he get funding?
No, I don't think so. I
He's
don't
just
think so
doing it
yet.
on the side.
Yeah, I mean, with the goal of trying to get funding, I'm
That's
sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was produced entirely by Lipscomb University's Creative Entertainment Arts students.
Whoop, whoop.
And it won Best Sound Design and Original Score at Lipscomb's 5-Minute Film Festival. I think it's won a lot more festivals.
Oh, it's not, yeah. I'm surprised they mentioned that because
I know they didn't mention the other ones.
They've gone on to win a lot of film festivals.
Yeah, and like legit ones. Oh
But
my gosh, I just
thanks.
saw my ring literally twinkle when I went like this.
Oh yeah, it's twinkly.
Slay. Read on to learn what director Jacob Birmingham and producer Michael Stevens had to say about wrangling multiple software tools and animation techniques along with students' schedule in order to finish The Legend of Bill. So it's like a pretty
It's a
lengthy but really interesting article.
It's an interview, isn't it, with them?
Yes,
at that
it
point?
is.
Yeah.
It becomes an interview, but it's really interesting on how they kind of manage the entire thing and mixing the 2D and 3D, and how it's sponsored by Toon Boom, so it's more about Toon Boom and how they like brought it all together.
Well, that's pretty cool. That
I know.
Toon Boom
Sponsored
I don't know
their
if they
story.
paid for that story, but they might have.
If it's sponsored by Toon Boom,
Yeah, I
Toon
guess they did,
Boom
yeah.
paid for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's really cool. And I just thought it was like, I was scrolling through Cartoon Brew, and I was I recognize that.
Have you seen the short?
I only saw the teaser.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's on YouTube. It may not be though.
They only linked the teaser, so I have a feeling that it's not
because
on
he's
YouTube.
going to the film festivals. He can't really put it on
Probably,
YouTube
but
good for you,
honestly,
Jacob.
a very well-deserving guy. Yeah, he's such a great guy. He's such a good worker. He can't say good enough about him. Like, he's so creative.
And he comes from graphic design, honestly.
And he's good at it.
And then went into animation, and he's
Do you
always had a
remember when
heart
he
for it.
pitched this to us?
This?
He pitched this to us before he made it at Lipscomb.
Are you sure?
We lost a chance. I'm positive.
I remember him pitching something, but I don't
It was
remember it
this.
being this.
He was like, it's a duck in this truck, and he's got this flat, like the
Yeah.
trucker hat on, and he was going through it. It was called that too. It's called like Bill or The Legend of Bill. I think he only called it Bill then, maybe. But
Well,
he pitched it to us, and we lost our opportunity.
we did, right?
It's like out there winning all these awards.
I mean, I don't know if he was making money off it right now, but
Still, I mean, it's gaining.
we're supporting in our own way, Jacob,
We're supporting
by talking about it now, but also how I taught you. That stuff,
That is so narcissistic.
the things I taught you.
Oh my gosh.
You're welcome.
Anyways, it's very exciting, and it literally popped up. I didn't even know that there was like an article out there. I'm like, wait, I recognize that. And then I saw it was like Jacob, so I was like,
cool.
that's so cool. We have to talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of an older article, but
Really? It was right on the top.
oh, is it?
Oh, wow.
Maybe
It's
because
February.
yeah,
Maybe they
because it's
sponsored.
or just as it's sponsored.
It was
maybe
on the homepage.
It probably runs for a month or something like that. So.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
couple
I didn't
months.
know that was. Sorry, Jacob. We're behind the.
Yeah,
We're.
but that's cool. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's may not be like
Go check it out
news,
though.
but
It's like really interesting. They show pictures of Toon Boom and how they were like kind of integrating the 2D characters in the 3D truck, and I thought it was really cool.
and this was all being done at school, and that's what I love
That's the
about
coolest part.
just a little promo about our program at Lipscomb. We're very entrepreneurial. We always tell the students to just pitch us what you want to do, and if it's beyond the scope of our class of what we're doing, maybe we'll try and work it out. Maybe we'll even make a class that we can make
Yeah.
that happen. And so we have like an animation production class. I think this was first or mostly done through that class, which is where we
Well-
get a group of students together and they make a group film.
Right, but it was also talking about just how they had to
Yeah.
like work with everybody's schedules, which is like, I don't know. I just thought that was so interesting. Like,
that's insane.
That's so hard.
They had a lot of people really committed to it, especially, and it usually happens second half when it starts really shaping up and looking good. That's when people want to kind of come on and help. It's always a slow start, but
did Phillip, Phillip
Phillip worked on it,
right?
Oh yeah,
because he was
Thank
wearing
you,
the hat.
Phillip. Yeah.
Cheers to you too, Phillip.
No, Phillip. I think he did a lot of the compositing, if I remember right. Phillip, you just put up what you did right here.
Yeah, put it right here.
Okay.
Slay Phillip, whatever it was you did. But excited for everybody at Lipscomb. It was really cool. And I just think it's really cool that you guys are in Cartoon Brew. So congrats.
Yeah. That thing has gone all around the world, honestly.
I can't help but notice that you're looking more glowy than me and I have glow sunscreen on.
No, this is my normal amount.
You're looking worse than me.
I don't know about that.
Who looks more greasy?
And don't count this, just because that is always there. The cheeks and stuff. No, you're on fire, girl. You're fire.
Okay. Well, with
that's a new thing. We're gonna do that. Fire.
I think we better not.
That's lit.
It's better without it. It's okay though.
All right.
All right.
This was fun. Everybody, see you next week.
Love ya. Bye.
Be sure to subscribe to the Pencilish Studios YouTube channel.